All right, it looks like most families have had a chance to join and get logged in. Thank you again for joining us for our fifth session of the Tennessee Family Series tonight. We are so excited that your student has decided to become a Vol, and we can't wait to welcome you and your family to our Tennessee family. My name is Johnny Logue. I work with the Office of New Student Orientation, and tonight we will be talking about student success with some of our fantastic UT staff members on the call here. Before we begin, I would like to ask our panelists to introduce themselves and share what office they will be representing.
Let's unmute there. Hi, everyone. My name is Angela Sampson. I'm an accommodations coordinator with the Office of Student Disability Services.
Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Reynolds. I direct the Academic Success Center at UT.
Hello, my name is Tabitha Villalba. I'm the Associate Learning Director over the Vol Study Center.
Good evening, Jenny Ward. I work in our Center for Career Development and Academic Exploration.
And hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Kaplan, and I am the Assistant Director within the Office of First Year Programs.
I know our panelists are ready to get your questions answered. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Family members, you are welcome to start entering your questions using the Q&A button below. There's a slide posted about how to find that Q&A feature. We just ask that you keep your questions related to tonight's topic on student success and that you don't resubmit your questions. We promise we are working hard behind the scenes to get all of your questions answered, whether that is live by our panelists or whether we are responding in the chat. And if we do answer by responding in the chat, you can find those responses using the All tab or the My Questions tab as they're answered. And then at the end of the session, we will share all of the contact information for each of the offices represented, so you can reach out if you still have any additional questions. Without further ado, panelists, my first question is for all of you to get us started and kicked off. What UT tradition or experiences can students look forward to participating in this upcoming year?
One activity that I'm always excited to see is the painting of the rock. When I drive by or walk by on campus, it's just amazing to see all of the campaigns and advocacy, spreading awareness about various things that students are interested in. And hopefully this semester, even I can get my hand painted up on the rock. So that's something to look forward to.
That's a great one. I'm going to go with food, and for the first day of classes in our office, we always have a chicken biscuit event first thing in the morning. So that'll be on all students' calendars.
Tabitha, I think you're muted.
You really have to click on that unmute button. Yeah, I was going to mention food too, Doug. I thought, oh, we do so many things that where students we're giving them food, but we also have a lot of really fun, just swag giveaways. And one of the ones that I'm looking forward to, I think this has become a tradition, is during Vol Success Week, we care about your success. And we give away these really awesome pairs of Tennessee socks, and they're so cool. They're free. We talk to you about student success and how to, have a great semester. We get you connected with a coach or one of our peer learning assistants, and you get a free pair of socks. So you can't beat that. So hold that date. It's September 26th, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. on the PED walkway.
And I think my favorite first year tradition is torch night. I just think it's a really special time for students to come together and experience their first ceremony as a volunteer. So I look forward to helping with that every fall.
And I'm going to say my favorite tradition is probably the 6 weeks of welcome and all that is encompassed in those weeks. You get a little bit of everything. And also our peer mentors that are engraved and involved in our FYS 101 courses often help with those sessions. So being able to have them out and welcoming new vols is something that I really look forward to.
New Student Orientation is very excited for Big Orange Welcome and to have you all on campus with us. We have got so much planned and we're working hard behind the scenes to make sure it's a great 6 weeks. So we'll go ahead with our first question for Angela regarding student disability services. Can you talk to me about what types of accommodations are provided through student disability services, whether that's academic accommodations or maybe even a dining accommodation?
Yes, absolutely. We cover a wide variety of accommodations, most commonly academic accommodations. Students can receive testing accommodations, which might include time extensions, testing in a different environment that might be reduced distractions. In addition to that, we also offer accommodations for communication access. We assist students with making certain that their materials are accessible, whether that's an accessible PDF that they might need. In addition to that, we provide accommodations, and this is something that's a little known fact, for temporary injuries. So what we see is an uptick of requests around holidays with broken limbs. But, if that happens, definitely reach out to our office. We can provide those types of accommodations as well. And in addition, we also serve students who have psychological, emotional health issues that they need to be accommodated for and work with staff just to make certain that they're met. But basically, dining accommodations and housing accommodations come through our office as well. So if you have any barrier that you experience within the university setting, reach out to our office, check out our website. We have lots of valuable information there.
Awesome. Thank you for covering the wide range of accommodations. Sometimes I think it's easier to forget how much your office provides for our students. Okay, so Doug, the next question is for you. Some of our students and families have probably started hearing about Vol Success Teams, whether that's because they were on campus with us at Vol Summer Visit, they're hearing about it in their Vol 101 modules. But let's take a second to talk about Vol Success Teams. What is a Vol Success Team? Who are the people that make up that team? And what is their job when it comes to supporting our student success?
Sure. I think Vol Success Teams are something that UT has that's unique in the field, and it's comprehensive services for every cohort student coming in, whether that student is coming to us as a freshman or coming to us as a new transfer. And so the Vol Success Team is comprised of an academic advisor who my wife's an advisor, so I'm selling it short when I say advisors help you get your classes. That's at least what they do. That's at least what they do. An academic coach from our office and or honors if you're with honors. And it's selling coaches short to say that coaches try to help you succeed in those classes, but it's at least that. And then a one-stop counselor that helps you with everything administrative, financial aid, enrollment, those sorts of things. And then for a lot of students, a peer mentor as well. And so those at least 3 or 4 for every cohort student on their Vol Success Teams. And what was the other question, Johnny? Did that get it, or was that? Do you have an additional question on that?
Yep, it was who are those people? What are their job titles, and kind of how do they support students through that first year?
Yeah, and it really is that. I mean that gets all areas of a student's concerns, and when in doubt, your academic coach is not a bad place to start. If you're wondering which of those to contact your academic coach, and we can get you in touch with who you need to. Each student will be connected to Vol Academic Connect, VAC. And in Vol Academic Connect, it has your success team. You can click on any of them, and the email will pop up where you can get in touch with any of those Vol Success Team members.
That was my follow-up question. How do they find out who those 3 people, the specific people? So would you mind just repeating one more time how they can find out who those specific people are? Sure. And how they can contact them?
Yeah. So your team will have will be in Vol Academic Connect, and so right there in a prominent place in Vol Academic Connect, it says your success team, and it has all of them listed. Several of the members of your Vol Success team will be reaching out via email, and it's important for all cohort students to go ahead and start checking their UT email before they enroll, and any message along those lines is going to give you really just a speedway to making connections to those folks.
Perfect. Thank you. Tabitha, my next question is for you. When you introduced yourselves, you mentioned the Vol Study Center. Can you tell us a little bit about what the Vol Study Center is and what types of resources are offered through the Vol Study Center?
I'd be happy to. So as Doug just referenced, under the Academic Success Center, we have academic coaches, which are just there to help you acclimate to college, help you with study skills. And on the other side of the house, under the Academic Success Center, is the Vol Study Center. And we help students academically. We have two different programs that we run. One of them is our study session under the Vol Study Center. We formerly called tutoring. We call them study sessions with our peer learning assistants. And then we also have something called supplemental instructions, which a lot of students find very useful. Supplemental instruction is group facilitated learning. In both of those situations, you're learning or you're receiving help from students who have previously attended that class, earned a B or better, went through a very rigorous training, and they're there to support students and help them keep their grade point averages, help them study for exams. I will highlight SI, especially if you're an incoming freshman, chemistry, biology, accounting. A lot of our STEM classes can be really difficult. There's a transition that some students have to adjust to. And our SI sessions are very well attended. They're recorded. Students go to these exam reviews. They do better on their tests. They do better overall in the class. And so I want to highly encourage you to attend those sessions. We begin the second week pretty much. So start attending those sessions early. You can make appointments 3 weeks ahead. Just schedule straight appointments with some of our PLAs. And just get those sessions in early. Don't wait until the last minute. Don't wait until you get that first grade that you're not satisfied with. Begin learning how to study early, and you can keep that throughout the entire semester. So hopefully that kind of, in a nutshell, wraps it up.
Perfect. Thank you. Jenny, we've already got some questions about internships and co-ops. So first part, do you recommend that first-year students and freshmen start looking for internships and co-ops? And if so, how might they go about that process?
Yeah, great question. So most first-year students are not looking for internships and co-ops just yet. We usually see those are most popular after the second year in school, once students have some academic coursework under their belt, so to speak, and then they can make contributions to a particular industry, accounting or engineering or what have you. Now, if a student has a personal connection, they're certainly, we certainly encourage them to take advantage of any work-related experience that provides them a chance to develop some professional skills and test out work environments. And they can do that through a system called Handshake. And Handshake should have been introduced maybe in other times at their admissions or orientation sessions. And they'll hear about Handshake as first-year studies students this fall. And you can also find Handshake on career.utk.edu. And that's the system that we use to communicate part-time jobs and internships and full-time jobs to students. So we are a centralized career center. We serve all students, all majors, all years in school, and including 1 year post-graduation. So most first-year students might access their experience, such as a part-time job, through Handshake or through our part-time job fair. And that's Tuesday, August 29th from 2 to 5, and that's in the Student Union Ballroom. And then students who are really seriously looking for internships can either do that on the Handshake system or meet with a career coach to talk about industry-specific support. And they can make those appointments as well through Handshake. And then the third thing I'd say, because there's a question about what types of job placement or services do we provide, we do have industry-specific career coaches, and they work with the students, the faculty, and the employers by industry to provide students opportunities. So those could come in the form of anything from an employer of the day to career conversations to Voltrex, our field trips that we host to different industries and companies. But our main way to help our students access opportunities are two, really through the Handshake system or through some of our large scale career fairs. And those are campus-wide, some large events in the fall, the Fall Job Fair, this business, retail, government, supply chain, and STEM days. in addition to some niche career fairs. So the answer is yes, we can help your student, whether they're entering, looking for some extra cash in terms of a part-time job, or maybe around that second, third year when they're looking for internships, and then also make the transition to grad school, professional school, or full-time job post-grad.
Thanks, Jenny. There is no shortage of help when it comes to jobs and internships here on our campus. So I appreciate you going over that. All right, Stephanie, our next question is for you. So as students have been getting registered for classes this summer, they might be seeing FYS 101 pop up onto their schedule. So could you tell us a little bit just generally about this course and what students can expect to gain by taking the course?
Absolutely. So FYS 101 is a course that is facilitated to all first-year students. We also do a Transition 201 course that is catered towards our transit students that come in. We want to make sure that we are capturing all of our new vols that attend the university to provide them with the best experience and helping them get acclimated, not only academically, also socially, and just to all of the resources that UT provides. So that course is going to provide a little bit of everything. It's going to allow you to get acclimated to campus. You'll be positioned with a peer mentor, so a veteran student that has already been through the process that will help not only navigate the relationship with your instructor and other faculty members, but also just navigate your time here at UT. So FYS 101 is a well-rounded course that is going to be pretty much like your intro to college course. It's gonna just get you familiar with resources on campus. We're gonna refamiliarize you with some of our other resources that our colleagues have already mentioned, such as Vol Study Center, academic success teams, the Career Center. So we are gonna reiterate and provide opportunities for all of those things to be right there in your face where you don't have to go hunt for them.
Awesome. Thank you. Angela, we're headed back to you with a question for Student Disability Services. I know we already talked about the wide range of services that your office provides, but if a student is needing to get registered and is needing accommodation, what is the process that they would need to go through?
Well, first, what students do is complete a registration form on our website, sds.utk.edu, and then call our office at 865-974-6087 to schedule a welcome meeting. And we hold those welcome meetings via Zoom or in person. The next step is to provide disability documentation, and the student will attend a welcome meeting with an accommodations coordinator. And during that meeting, we discuss how to use any accommodations we put into place and documentation needs, and provide suggestions if a student might be struggling to find their documentation or not know exactly how they need to submit that to us. All of this information, as I said earlier, is provided on our website.
Websites are always a great resource to go to if you're just not quite sure. Doug, we're headed back to you, thinking back on student vol success teams. I know we talked about the 3 people that make up those teams, but are students required to meet with those members of their team?
Students are required to meet with at least one member of their team each semester, and the expectation is that they would meet with their with their academic coach and their academic advisor during the semester. So and those are pretty easy connections to make, for one reason, because both of those team members will be reaching out to students through email, and just responding to any of those emails is a quick way to do that.
Thank you, Doug. Tabitha, thinking back, I know you briefly explained kind of supplemental instruction and study sessions, but would you kind of go over a little bit more the difference between those two? What student might benefit from supplemental instruction versus study sessions? Is there supplemental instruction and study sessions for every class at the university? How can students find the schedule? I'm asking lots of questions, but I know you'll hit it well.
Yeah. Great questions. We get those all the time. So I'm used to answering those questions. So the difference between supplemental instruction and a study session with one of our PLAs, the peer learning assistants, is that study sessions are one-on-one. and by appointment. We do have limited drop-in. We highly encourage students to make appointments because they get pretty busy during the semester, and you don't want to, sit around waiting for several hours for someone to, become available. So appointments are encouraged. They are one-on-one. A lot of students have a preference for those because they can sit down, they can build a rapport with, maybe they have a math 123 tutor that they just really enjoy, or PLA that they enjoy, and they just want to meet with them once a week. And they build that relationship. They get to know each other. The sessions are more individualized. The PLA can kind of, track their progress, see how they're doing throughout the semester. So students definitely have a preference for that. The SI are very popular because they provide active learning strategies in a group setting. So for a lot of students, they have a preference for attending those sessions because they're attending these with other students in the same class. They're building rapport with and building community with the people that they're taking these courses with. On top of that, they have an SI leader who has been trained in facilitating sessions and helping them specifically with exam reviews, and they can get them into group activities. They'll play fun games that are just, directed at learning. There's some competition involved, and it's just kind of makes for a lively session that students tend to enjoy. We have over 200 subjects available between SI and study sessions, over 200 subjects available. So for SI, we predominantly focus on STEM courses. There are a couple of others that we do that are, outside of that range, but mainly it's STEM. If you're not familiar with SI targets historically difficult courses. So the chemistry courses, the accounting, the engineering, biology courses that students tend to struggle with conceptually. So we really do focus on those classes. For example, if you're taking a Chem 122 class, you will have an SI leader assigned to your instructor. Your instructor will tell you when those sessions are. Your SI leader for that class will reach out to you and let you know what the schedule is. You'd have the option of being added to a Canvas show. So there's multiple ways that we'll contact you. If you are interested in signing up for a one-on-one appointment with the PLA, it's very simple. You can do it several different ways. You can go to our website. You can send us an email. You can click on a link that directs you to Navigate, where you can sign up to sign up for a session. You can also do it in Navigate. There's a link there that you can sign up to a session. And then when you're in Canvas, if you click on tutoring, it'll actually take you to several different options, and the Volz Study Center is listed there. You're not only will you see the schedule about when our PLAs are available or when SI sessions are happening, you're able to schedule an appointment directly from there. So you really can't miss it. And then on top of that, we've got events every single, throughout the first 6 weeks. We'll be out there chasing you down, talking to you about our services, giving you handouts with instructions. We've got videos on our website that show you how to register for appointments. So there's really no way you can miss us. And again, I just want to say, book those appointments really early in the semester. We do get busy. And if for some reason you're struggling in a course and you can't find it and you're thinking, I really need to get help with this section, you can send the Volz Study Center an email, and we will try to find a PLA for that particular section that you're requesting help in.
Thanks, Tabitha. I know I asked a lot of questions, but you did a great job covering it all. Jenny, I know we talked a little bit about how students can find different jobs, part-time jobs on campus, but let's talk a little bit about work-study positions. If a student qualifies for work-study, is that a different process? How can they find those jobs available to them?
Yes, it is. So the positions that are available through Handshake are paid part-time jobs or internships. So if a student is wondering if they're eligible for a work study position, then they should contact One Stop. So there is a page on One Stop that will give them a little bit more information about how to find out if they're eligible for federal work study. And then those positions are actually in a different portal through One Stop. One other thing I wanted to mention just in response to the questions too, Handshake does have positions that might be short-term positions. One of the family members asked about that. It does predominantly have part-time jobs that would be on campus, near campus, that would be semesterly focused and work around a student schedule. But there are from time to time some term jobs if someone needs help with yard work or something of that nature. And then the other thing I'd also mention about Handshake that I didn't, but I think might appeal to some of our families from out of state, is that Handshake is a nationwide system. So students would certainly be looking for part-time jobs on campus or near campus while they're in school. But if they're looking for internships or even part-time jobs for upcoming summers, they have, the system is very robust. It's a nationwide network, so they could put in cities, they could set up job alerts for different industries and places that they might want to work in the future, and the career coaches can help them set those, their profile settings if they need some support.
Thank you, Jenny. Stephanie, coming back to you for an FYS question. We've got a few, I'm going to shoot you like a several parter. So first, is the class required? But then second, if it's not required, are there specific types of students or specific students in an academic college, maybe Haslam College of Business, who don't take FYS? And is there an alternative for them? What are kind of the different options for different students?
Absolutely. So FYS is a highly encouraged course. It is not mandatory, but it is highly encouraged. We feel that it is definitely, and data has shown that students generally perform a little better by having that introductory course to help them get acclimated to the University of Tennessee. Now, there are separate groups of students that do take other courses outside of the FYS one-on-one course that are similar in fashion, such as the Haslam College of Business students, as well as engineering majors. So Haslam College of Business and Tickle College of Engineering has their own course that is similar to FYS one-on-one. Forgive me for not knowing engineering's coding, but the business one is BUAD 100. So it's going to be similar in fashion. It's going to be 1 credit hour as well, but that course is going to help that population of students focus more on getting acclimated to their particular college. Whereas we help students get integrated to all of the other colleges and departments on campus. Haslam College of Business has their own, because they like to integrate some special items and specialties within that they want to ensure that students know as they're getting started.
Perfect. You answered that perfectly. Exactly what I wanted. Angela, headed back to you. So if a new student is needing some accommodations, when do you recommend they meet with you to ensure those accommodations are in place by the time they're here on campus?
We hold meetings on a daily basis. There are about 4 or 5 of us that meet with students, like I said, via Zoom or in person. So distance is not a barrier. Just check out our website. We are able to schedule them really within the next week. And I highly encourage you to contact us sooner than later so that we can answer any questions that you may have within the welcome meeting, in which we discuss their experience and what accommodations might be appropriate. We also share campus resources with a lot of our campus partners that are here with students. And so it's just always nice just to have that accommodations coordinator, just to kind of give a little bit of level of comfort and education on how accessing accommodations is fairly easy in the college setting.
Awesome. Thank you. Doug, back to Vol Success teams. Now, is the Vol Success team just for first-year students, or do transfer students also have a Vol Success team?
Transfer students also do as well. So, so any what we call cohort student, any student that would be joining us this summer or this fall, will have a complete Vol Success team right there in VAC.
Perfect. Thank you. Tabitha, it seems like there is just so many different academic resources available on our campus to help our students. So if a student is having some trouble with a class, who do you recommend they go to first? Would that be directly to the professor or a TA, or would you encourage them to see a tutor, a supplemental, a PLA, or maybe an academic coach?
That's a great question. And I think it varies. It depends on the student. The first place I would recommend that they go to is an academic coach. And the reason I say that is because they have already spoken to that coach, and that coach will be familiar with where they are in the class, who they already have a relationship with outside of the class. They'll talk to them about strategies on how to talk to their faculty that they're, in the class with. They may actually recommend that they go see a PLA or that they attend an SI session. A lot of times they will walk them over to whatever resource it is that they need assistance with. But the coach is a great place to start because they pretty much touch every single office on our campus. They know a lot of the ins and outs. They know policies. They know procedures. They're also just very encouraging and helpful. So that is definitely where I would start, is with a coach.
Awesome. Thank you. Jenny, what advice do you have for a student who might not know what their career goals are yet, or maybe don't know what they want to do with their major?
Yes, I would say, first of all, you're not alone, that you might hear that a lot of people are certain of their major career goals, but research shows us that about a third of students change majors at least once nationwide. And so you're in good company. And our academic and career exploration team has a lot of great resources and people. So you can schedule an appointment for unsure of major, unsure of career through our handshake system and meet one-on-one with who we call an ACE coach to talk about interests, strengths, values, access career assessments and resources, and get some customized help with your own decision making. So helping you figure out how your personal attributes align with majors as well as with career options. I would plug one resource on career.utk that students could check out now, and it's called What Can I Do with This Major? It's in our featured resources at the bottom, and it's a resource that we actually create and sell across the country to other colleges and universities. So it's a great tool for students who are just curious about majors maybe they're already thinking about, or if they're just wide open. There's a section by essentially career cluster industry that gives students some ideas. So I would check that out. And I would also encourage them to make an appointment. Lindsay, one thing about What Can I Do with This Major is you have to send it through career.utk. They have to open it through career.utk. So send them there first, and then they can look for a featured resource. They might get an error message unless they open it from a UT site.
Thanks, Jenny. Stephanie, we have some family members who noticed there's also an FYS 129 course. So can you tell me the difference between 101 and 129 and who might benefit from taking one versus the other?
Absolutely. That's a great question. FYS 129 is also a group of courses that is facilitated and run throughout our office as well. No secret at all. This is just a course that is not necessarily mandatory for students, and it's one that students are not auto-enrolled in as the FYS 101 course is. So just backtracking to the FYS 101 course, all first-year students are automatically enrolled in that course. So that course will automatically pop up on their schedules before they meet with their traditional advisors or their college-specific advisors. 129 courses are going to be topic-specific courses that are run by faculty members that have just an immense interest in that specific topic. Oftentimes, faculty members will submit the topic to us and then submit the lesson as well. And just based off of previous student interaction and student feedback, a lot of these courses have garnered a lot of attention. So FYS 129 would be for those students that may be looking to add an extra credit hour to their schedule, whether that's to fulfill a financial need or whether that is to help just beef up their resume in the future, or if it's a particular course of interest that they may be interested in diving in outside of just their major, but just doing a little more, spending a little more time with. Again, it's topic specific. So you could come across some fun topics such as a class about Harry Potter movies. You can come across the business of fashion. There are some that focused on movies and history of cinema. So there are a bunch of different topics and a little bit that caters to every student.
Awesome. Thanks for providing us with an overview of the difference of those courses. Angela, so if a student does submit accommodations, or they need to submit documentation, they have their accommodations, is that something they need to do every year? Do they need to re-register, or once they've done it once, those accommodations are in place?
Yes, once their accommodations are permanent, they provided documentation. They are not required to meet with us on a yearly basis. That's one big difference between accommodation use in high school and at the college level. They're assigned an accommodations coordinator. And so we highly encourage students, if they experience any barriers, if their accommodations are just not working quite right, to reach out to their accommodation coordinator to talk about how they're impacted. And we can make some suggestions, look at the accommodations and see if they qualify for some additional accommodations. Outside of that, in terms of the student's responsibility for utilizing their accommodations, they are responsible for notifying their instructor of their accommodation through our student portal. And we train students on how to do that within their welcome meeting. And we have instructions for step-by-step how to navigate the portal on our website as well. So in short, just to recap, they only have to meet with us once, but we are available to speak with them if we need to make changes to their plan.
Awesome. Thanks, Angela. Doug, when do you recommend students start scheduling meetings with members of their Vol Success team? Do you recommend they do it early, kind of wait until halfway through the semester? Do you have any advice for that?
I do. Vote early, vote often. I've got a couple of recommendations on that. So I'm gonna jump into Tabitha's world for just a minute and say that for if it is course based, frequency really matters. And so going ahead and getting appointments early and steady is just a great idea. And some of our data really shows, especially with supplemental instruction, the more frequently you're in there, the better your grade in that class is, and the better your term GPA for all your classes is. And so to get that level of frequency, you really need to start early. And a lot of what the difference between learning assistants on the high school level and higher ed is really two different things. And in higher ed, it's just what smart students do. It's I mean, we got so many students who are using those resources not to prop themselves up or to try to pass a class, but to try to make an A in a class instead of a B. And with the aspirations and talents that a lot of our students have, it's not about, those resources are not about trying to survive. It's really about thriving. And so that kind of drives the question of when for some of those things. And Tabitha, I'm sorry if you were going to get asked that same question. But for academic coaching, I really like an early, middle, late. I mean, it just makes sense. And so if you're looking at the calendar, that's a September conversation, an October conversation, and a November conversation. And really December is when finals are. And so that kind of level of frequency is good. All of these things we're talking about tonight are really just to increase confidence level. And I mean, we all want that. We, when I'm shopping for ties, I'd love to have somebody along with me to increase my confidence, whatever it is, and really at any stage of life. But this, all of these things are increasing confidence. And so increased frequency really probably does that. If I could wave a magic wand over the student body, I would say, when in doubt, do. If you're thinking about having a conversation, if you're thinking about having a conversation with Angela, go ahead and have that conversation with Student Disability Services. What can it hurt to have that conversation? You've got more options, and really anybody on this grid, we're out there hoping that the students will come and just come into our doors and say, I want to talk to somebody, and it's as easy as that. It's as comfortable as that. Just coming in, I'd like to talk to somebody here. And so I recommend everybody leaning in towards that impulse.
Thanks, Doug. Tabitha, I'll ask you the next question, but Doug, feel free to chime in. What would you say the difference between academic coaching and traditional tutoring is?
Oh, yeah. So with academic coaching, they'll talk to students about their Clifton strengths, and all of our incoming students will take an assessment to know what their strengths are. But all of our coaches are trained in Clifton strengths, and they will talk to them about how to capitalize and how to use those strengths so that they can apply them to their study habits and the way that they are learning, and they'll excel. So they really do talk to them about who they are individually as a learner. So they have a much more, I think, a holistic view of that student. They can see all of the classes that they're in. One of our PLAs or an SI leader will not have that information. They'll only know the student for, based on the course that they are taking. They'll be able to help them, with that problem, with that test, and with that particular material, just to help them oftentimes get over, a hump that they've hit, or a roadblock or something, just to get them on to the next step. And so it's very unique in that way, and particular to that course. So those are the two differences. They're both of them together. You've got like you just hit it big. You have won the lotto. So one without the other, I think, is we see most success when those two both are applied. And Doug, feel free to add to that one. I'm sure I'm trying to hit on how great our coaches are as well.
Yeah. Well, my agent asked me to get as much airtime as I could tonight, so that's I need to chime in. No, I think you hit it on the head, and the where it's course based. I mean, an academic coach is going to talk about your whole experience at UT and how that impacts your academic world. So if you're picking up a part-time job and you're working too many hours there, you can risk forfeiting scholarships down the road, those kinds of conversations, time management conversations, those types of things. But an academic coach is not going to talk to you about factoring polynomials. That's going to be your PLA, and that's going to be your supplemental instruction leader. And so agree with Tabitha that the combination of those is fantastic.
And before I let you both go, will you just remind me one more time what PLA and SI stands for?
Sure. PLA is our peer learning assistants. Those are tutors. We try to get away from the use of the word tutor, because oftentimes there's a stigma related to it. So peer learning assistants, we call them PLAs. And then our SI leaders are supplemental instruction leaders.
Thanks, Tabitha. Truly no shortage of help here at UT. Jenny, coming back to you, what resources are available for students who might need help writing a resume or prepping for an interview?
Great question. So many students will be looking for help with both, whether they're accessing their first part-time job, or maybe even applying to be an RA or an orientation leader or peer career advisor, or maybe one of the other leadership peer mentor, first year studies peer mentor. A lot of opportunities for students on our campus where they might be in need of help with resume, cover letter, interview help. So they can access some great resources just on career.utk. There's a career tools section. We also have peer career advisors who are in the center and available via Zoom every day of the week. So students can just either click the Zoom link or pop into the center and get some peer-to-peer help with either getting started in one of those documents or signing up for a practice interview. And then if they'd like even more advanced help, they can meet with a career coach. So I'd start with website, then peer career advisor drop-ins, and then make that appointment with a career coach on Handshake.
Thanks, Jenny. Stephanie, so back to FYS 101, are there dedicated sections for maybe honors students or different majors or colleges? And if so, how can a student make sure they're registered for the correct section?
Great question. Yes. So the FYS courses are broken down in when it becomes to special populations, but also colleges as well. So if you find that you are a student, or if you're a family member of a student and they've recently changed their major, they'll definitely want to talk to their new advisor to ensure that they are in the proper FYS 101 course. Our goal with that is to provide students with a community of support amongst their peers, and to position them in amongst a group of their peers that are also within the same major, to help them start kind of building camaraderie, building those peer-to-peer relationships, and to establish sort of a cohort type of feel. So the special populations of FYS 101 can range from those being honor specific, whether it's the Chancellor's Honors, Honor 1794. If your student is a part of UT Lead or UTSA, those have specialty sections as well. So those are sections that are going to be encompassed as well of maybe students within slightly different majors if they are in a group such as UT Lead or UTSA.
Thanks, Stephanie. And then my last office specific question is for you, Angela. If a student had a 504 plan or an IEP in high school, does that automatically come with them, or do they still need to get in contact with your office?
It does not transfer. So any kind of a plan that you have in high school does not transfer to college. However, contact our office so that we can talk about how you're impacted and apply those accommodations. Typically, we're able to mirror a lot of the same accommodations. One big difference, I would say, between high school accommodations and those that you receive in college is we specifically are looking at access. And oftentimes in high school, you receive accommodations for access, but then also for success. And with success, we do a lot more coaching, collaborate with our campus partners to provide students with resources. But definitely, if you had a plan in high school, then you most likely will qualify for a plan with us. You just need to reach out to us and schedule a welcome meeting.
Perfect. Thanks for clarifying that for us. So my last question is for all of you as we wrap up for the night, panelists. Could you please tell everyone the best way to contact your office if they still have some additional questions following this webinar?
Absolutely. For student disability services, please check out our website. It's sds.utk.edu. You can also send us an email at sds@utk.edu or give us a quick phone call at 974-607-6087.
For the Academic Success Center, what's on your screen right now is absolutely the best ways to get in touch with us. And Tabitha, if you want to talk about how most people find us by Google, feel free, or anything else you want to add there as well.
Just going to suggest that they, obviously you can Google us if you type in UTK and Academic Success Center. We also have our own email address, which I've just put into the chat for you. So if you email Academic Success Center, any emails you have related to Volz Study Center will come to us, but we do also have our own email address, and students will often use that email to ask their questions or request an appointment. You can always use that. That's probably the quickest way to get a hold of us as well.
And for the Center for Career Development and Academic Exploration, you're welcome to email us in any questions at career@utk.edu. We also have a lot of great user-friendly resources on career.utk.edu. And what I love about the website is it's available 24/7. So when the students are up and we are not, you can get a lot of questions answered by going there first. And then also, again, the drop-in hours with our peer career advisors will be posted on the website as soon as they're available this fall. And they can be great first people to talk to in the center to answer some questions for you and get you the next step in your career journey.
And to reach our office, you can email the first year at utk.edu. That will be the best way to contact us. Any form or fashion, any question that you have related to the FYS 101 course, FYS 129, or Transition 201 courses, or just general courses and all. We're happy to answer and to help navigate you and position you with the proper office or proper individual. We have a staff of probably 4 that have access to this email. So at any time you will get a response from one of our team members. You can also call us at 865-974-2944. Email is probably going to be the best version though.
Well, thank you, panelists, for joining us this evening and sharing your resources with us. Family members, thank you again for joining us for session 5 of the Tennessee Family Series. Before we conclude for the night, I do have a few quick reminders. We would love if you would take a moment to fill out our session survey. You can follow the link in the chat box below, or you can find it in your post-session email. If you haven't already, please don't forget to complete the guest version of Vol 101, our online orientation modules. The link is vol101.utk.edu, and you can create a guest account to complete the program along with your student. And finally, we would love to stay connected with you and your family and encourage you to join the Tennessee Family Association. This will sign you up for bi-weekly newsletters so you can stay up to date on all the important information you need to know about your students' experience. Thanks again for joining us tonight. We hope you will join us again on August 10th for our final session as we talk about life on Rocky Top. Have a great night and go Vols.